This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. Today we submit that the nation is sick. From enjoying the dramas of demolitions to cheering the arrests of big fish, we have become psychopaths. In fact, we are now immune to demolitions and arrests. We want more drama. And in the pursuit of more, we have gone to a very dark place. This is why the nation is obsessed with murder. Everyone has a theory about Obado and Young Sharon. Our young people are theorizing about the Kilimani murder of a brilliant young woman. They're asking whether this was a contract job from a South Sudanese or part of a love triangle. And the theories about murder are alive and heated in our living rooms. Yet we have not posed this national question. Why do we enjoy these theories? Why has the nation gone to such a dark place? In our view, demolitions and weekend arrests developed in us a negative appetite. Now the negative appetite is craving dark things. This is why the country needs to see a psychiatrist.
On Palm Sunday, the carpenter from Nazareth rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. The crowds removed their clothes, tore apart some palm leaves, and laid them all on his path. Then they shouted, "Hosanna! Hosanna!" Jerusalem shivered with the fever of a new king. Once in Jerusalem, Yeshua went straight to the temple with a whip. He was annoyed by corruption and the sinners of the law. They had turned the temple into a house of thieves. He whipped them, overturned their tables and their benches of corruption. Then the crowds responded, "Hosanna! Hosanna!" But the following week, Yeshua was arrested by the DPP, and the crowd that was shivering with fever betrayed him. Asked to choose between a thief and Yeshua, they saved the thief. And instead of shouting, "Hosanna! Hosanna!" to Yeshua, they shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" In 1 week, the crowds had changed their mind. When Uhuru demolished buildings and arrested biggies, the crowds shouted, "Hosanna! Hosanna!" But weeks later, they are now bored by demolitions. They're shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" This is not darkness. This is sickness.
Have you ever wondered why Yeshua was crucified between two thieves? They could have crucified him between a thief and a lawyer, or a thief and a politician, but the Messiah was put to death between two thieves. Why? Honestly, we have no idea. However, we believe that Elohim the Almighty put the thieves in the Messiah's story to demonstrate a number of things. One, that justice is for the rich, the law is for the poor. Yeshua was a poor carpenter. The two thieves were also poor, and the law was made to catch them. Two, if you give justice to the rich and the law to the poor, you foment revolution. And this is how the Jesus revolution was powered. 3. For revolution to happen, betrayal must happen first, followed by forgiveness. Yeshua was betrayed by the crowds, but on the cross he showed mercy and forgiveness to a thief. If Uhuru does not show mercy, he will be betrayed. If the crowds have turned against him, it is because he has no grace. Instead of a catcher of thieves, Uhuru should become a fisher of men.
We are not asking Uhuru to forgive thieves. No. Yeshua the carpenter from Nazareth is the only one who could forgive thieves. What we are asking Uhuru is to become a fisher of men, not a catcher of thieves. And he has only 30 months left to do so. In 30 months, he has to fish enough men who believe in the big four. he has to fish enough men who believe that legacy is not a Subaru. It is a concrete inheritance. He has to become a fisher of men who believe in the light of his presidency, not the darkness of our national soul. Currently, Uhuru's ratings are at their lowest, and if he does not manage politics, politics will manage him. And in our view, someone is behind Uhuru's misfortunes. The intention is to create a case for his impeachment. The question is not whether the impeachment will happen. The question is when it will happen. And we repeat, if Uhuru does not manage politics, politics will manage him.
Uhuru is currently at his lowest. In a Twitter opinion poll I conducted this Friday, I had 18,000 Kenyans vote from all over the world, and the results were shocking. Of this number, 67% disapproved of the Uhuru presidency, 19% did not care, and only 14% approved of the Uhuru presidency. This is how low the Uhuru has sunk. And given this disaster, I have a message for Uhuru Kenyatta. The only time you begin from the top is when you are digging a hole. Beginning from the bottom is not necessarily a bad thing. At the bottom, you can only go up. From the top, you can only go down. And this is why Uhuru Kenyatta should enjoy this moment of national hate and bottomness. From down there, he can only go up, in my view. But while at the dark bottom, Uhuru should never question in the dark decisions he made in the light. If he invited the China people in the light, he must not question this decision in the dark. He must not follow the darkness of our national souls. He should remember one more thing, that Kenyans are suffering from a multiple personality disorder today. The country is clinically confused, in my view. And instead of following a clinically confused country, Uhuru should instead offer them leadership.
And now, our final thought. Constitutional change will be part of Uhuru's legacy. And this will happen either by design or through an act of God. You see, constitutions are made in times of crisis. If made in the absence of a crisis, they precipitate a crisis. Our constitution was not made in times of crisis. And because of this, it will precipitate a crisis soon. Our constitution is like a version of the Holy Bible released by the King's printers in 1631 in London. This Bible contained several errors, but one was particularly inspired. The word "not" was omitted from the 7th commandment. This allowed lusty Christians to commit adultery, quoting from the highest authority. The Bible became more popular than movies, and in heaven, the 7th commandment recorded the highest level of compliance on earth. By the time the error was discovered, much damage had been done. King Charles recalled all 1,000 copies in circulation. The Christians protested, but the king had to do what the king had to do. Like this Bible, our constitution has many inspired errors. If Uhuru does not correct the errors, we will sure go to hell for committing political adultery.